Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and those of you who know better, thanks for your patience these few minutes as we get started. This is the Time to Burn March Raid warm-up stream. Today I'm going to be going over all of the new targets in the raid, talking a little bit about the prizes, and maybe doing a little bit of the forum post briefing, or we'll save that for the Hefe show or Battle Pirates Crib coming up in just about an hour or so. Just jumping into it, this is the first raid using the Purifiers, and the builds I'm using are going to be quite interesting. I had a very last minute change going to a high evade flagship tank because of some shenanigans that Kixeye kind of pulled. With that said, we're just going to go ahead and get started in here. The targets we're going to be going through are the Purifiers, the 100 and the 101 targets, as well as the 500 for those. The 600 is an assassin target if we do get around to that thing. Again, these are all the new ones here. Most people will probably want to stick to just these guys right here, 100 and 101. And if you are really low level, probably just hit the 80 with assassins and call that good. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you can jump around to different sections of the video. I may have some time to put the chapters feature in there and auto-generate it. In any case, the prizes are a new heavy launcher, which you can get 2 of, and it should be quite useful for base defense. Is a 360-degree launcher with a huge amount of deflection on there defensively. The flagship for the Brute, surprise, surprise. Purifier upgrade tokens, you have to kind of use the Purifiers to get these, but whatever. Make sure you get the upgrade kits for your Righteous Purifier flagship, or you'll be pretty sad. Ask me how I know, as well as a few other things, such as some tokens for buildings, which you'll want, and a few other base upgrade things, which you probably already have in there. Anyway, there are a few other random things in here, evade upgrade, etc., and ice walls, a few other things like that. I believe you can also get 1 more Helios in the whole store, up to 3 total, or just 2 if you didn't do bounty, so should be pretty interesting. With that said, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the build I'm running on my Purifiers because it is pretty interesting. I have one ship, the flagship, built as a high evade tank right here. You can see that this is at U2 and is up to 89% evade because it has 9 million armor points compared to the others, which have 8 million armor points, 8.6. So this thing is going to get targeted by anything that has priority targeting, which it appears, based on the VXP targets, that a few things did. So this is not a damage ship. This has the same combat speed of 98 and 100. And has a ton of evade on here, which is the plan. I hope this works, otherwise I'll need to refit. It should be pretty interesting. I also do have one ship up to X1. I saved all my tokens that I got for the regular Purifiers, plus those from Pillage, that 1, and the 5 from the TLC. So I've got one ship up to X1. I'll demonstrate this new Firefield capability. By the way, even though it's not listed in special abilities, it does have a 3-second lasting time on this fire field that was confirmed by Kixeye, so if you're wondering, that's what that is. And then this last one is only at U2. I will have actually a second Purifier up to X1 here in 1 day and 1 hour, so after I redeem 1 token. With that said, let's go ahead and find some target on the map and get targeted. Well, just get started with these targets. Jumping into the level 100 first of all, we'll just try and see something. Alright, now targets are going to be slow to load, that's usual, shouldn't be too big of a deal here. I'm also trying to do a little bit of zooming in and out, so you can see things on map a little bit more easily here. I did just have to restart my computer before the stream, that's why we were a little late, but hey, no problem there, let's get started. Now this auto target theoretically can be autoed. I'm of course going to try to drive it first of all. You'll notice I am just using 3 Purifiers because that is what Kixeye has said that the targets are designed / tuned for, although I am well aware mine are fairly high upgraded compared to everyone else's. I will start using 4 in, well, all the videos I make after the raid because that's when I'll have my 4th one done here. Alright, here is the full target setup right here. Just zooming out, there's a bunch of different weapons, etc. A bunch of heavy turrets here. Maybe some arcs that heavy turrets aren't displayed on, but that's no biggie. The flagship also has a longer range here, which makes it very hard / impossible to auto with, because it does have the V-morts on there, so just keep that in mind. Looks like we've got some turrets here that are just directional, one way, some directional ones that have gaps in the center, and one that has no arc, so I assume this is a 360 degree getting close here. I plan to park right here and target anything shooting at me and stay far away from that guy. Another turret cluster over here, nothing too worrisome over there. And a damage boosting building, I assume. This would probably increase damage by 25%. Shouldn't be too crazy here. Ranges are pretty short, and there are some walls here, which does blend in quite a bit. Let's just charge in here and see what happens. Alright, let's shoot at the guys that are actually doing damage to me. Seems like a pretty good first step. So far, so good. Looks like no damage taken. Well, maybe a little bit there. You also do have a frenzy with this ship, so the more buildings you're killing in some short period of time, the more splash is actually increased, maybe a few other stats here. Looks like I can't get around to the right of the target for some reason. Let's, hey Kixeye, you got a bug right here. You can't go straight. I don't know why you can't go straight, but someone might want to screenshot this and submit it. You can't drive around the target for some reason. I'm clicking here and it's not going. Oh well. Alright, jumping into the rest of the target, we probably don't want to go straight through this gate because it looks like you'll take some damage there. You also probably want to stay shooting at things constantly to get your frenzy built up there and keep it at max stacks. And I can't go through the side of the target either. Come on. I can't go through this target. So I'm forced to go in here and take damage. That's unfortunate. Let's see if we can't sneak off on the bottom here and try and avoid this guy. Looks like that worked out okay. Let's get close to these guys and shoot at the things actually doing damage to me. And I do kill these things pretty quick. That's really nice. Sneak in right here, shoot at the things that are hurting me, which is probably this guy. Just kill it quickly. There we go. Perfect. And next up. Stay shooting at things. I want to stay out of range of this guy, even though I might have been in there. I can't quite tell. Alright, now it looks like there's no way to go behind this guy whatsoever, which is pretty dumb. I guess it's intended. There's no gates on the outside, so I can't go past, which is whatever. They're just forcing you to take damage. No big deal. Okay, those ballistic shots there look like they probably are hurting me. Actually, am I taking any damage from this target? Have I taken... Well, there's a sliver here and a sliver there. I thought it was bugged for a second and it wasn't hurting me. So, that's nice. I might just close it on this last cluster and at max stack should kill it pretty quick. And looking at the total damage, even though you can't go past on the outsides, that's like instant map repair. That's like 17 seconds damage. That's not bad. In fact, that's like really good. Well, looks like I evaded 100% of the ballistic incoming damage and nearly all of the radioactive incoming damage, something like 90%, which is cool. And repair time from 100 is 1 minute and 22 seconds. No damage on the flagship with the higher armor in the evade build. All the damage on the back two, one at X1, one at U2. That's pretty interesting if you ask me. Alright, well, that's instant repair. I'm not complaining about that one. Let's find a 100 and just auto it with literally 2 ships and see what results that gives. Because again, this is theoretically an auto target, so it should work. Alright, let me know in chat. What do you think about that first target? I think it looks pretty easy, if not too easy, if I'm completely honest with you. So, that's interesting for sure. Alright, jumping into the 100. Again, we're going to auto this one. I'm taking my flagship, stopping it, and letting the other 2 just start. And see if 2 ships can auto the target. Let me actually zoom out here so you can see everything. And we'll just auto this thing. Now, these 2 ships do have much lower evade. I can't tell if they're actually taking any ballistic damage. I'm not sure. We should also keep an eye out for this X1 weapon, which is pretty difficult to see sometimes. Again, it does have that Sunfire launcher, it's called, with a fire field. It does have a lower range, so it might not work in auto. So the range on this is like 54 compared to 64, 52 compared to 64, so it might not fire at all, which is interesting. You can see I'm taking a ton of damage here on auto from something. I assume it was that blue shots from this big standing turret, but I'm not quite sure. You also notice that there's a massive orange ring everywhere, which, I mean, is a little annoying. I don't like going into epileptic shock here. So if you want to turn this orange ring off, it's in settings, you go to projectile effects, and that's how you do it. I wish it was a little smaller. Your splash area does increase as you keep shooting, but hey. There also is the fire field right here. You can just barely see that through everything else, and it looks like it might have done some damage, although everything else is in range already, so I'm not really sure. You saw a target right here. You saw those blue shots did target one of my ships. Looks like he does have priority targeting because they're equal health. I might have made that up. I'm not quite sure. Snowballs are hitting this guy, and overall, auto's doing its job. This is an auto target, and the fleet is autoing it, so hey, that's good. Damage looks like two ships can do this really reasonably. I don't know what one ship at X1 can do, or one ship at U2 for that matter, but we'll have to see. Auto looks pretty nice. I might be spending a coin here on your repair Kixeye, but hey, I'm willing to do it apparently. So target's good. I mean, 100 gets my approval. Only damage taken was ballistic. That's interesting. Why did I take no radioactive damage on auto? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But hey, that's 19 minutes damage. What the heck? We'll spend a coin to repair that. That's not bad. 100 level 100 target so far gets my approval, although I don't like having to rush into those ballistic big turrets with those firing arcs. So, whatever. And I believe that target is entry lock dependent, so you're only going to enter in one area, which is pretty solid. Alright, let's check out the 101, see how badly this thing goes. Again, still 3 ships, still the U2, X1, and U2 versions. Again, those were all built with no coin if you were wondering. Zooming out here, you can see that this target looks about the same footprint size roughly. I think people would roughly agree on that. And, you know, nothing too bad going on so far. Probably something new in this target. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. We have a launcher turret, or glacial launcher turret is what this looks like, with a minimum firing range. That should be interesting inside a death spiral. So, what the hell? Looks like for this path, we don't want to go through this bottom one first. We don't want to go through... We can go through this left one off here. So the 9 o'clock entry might be the way to go on this guy. Yeah, 9 o'clock entry looks pretty solid. Other than this turret, wonder how many of them there are. Looks like just one. Interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and kill this guy. The big launcher right there. Well, actually, it's not doing any damage to me, so I don't have to worry about it. I also have not quite found out yet what targets, what things in here actually have priority targeting. I guess I'm assuming it's the ballistic turrets, but I'm really not sure about that. So again, I don't actually know if this high evade flagship is required. I guess we'll have to see what results people without that are getting, and holy cow, I just took a ton of damage from something. What just did that? Yikes. I'm trying to move around here until I figure out what's killing me. But something just... Where'd my fleet health go? What the hell just happened there? Well, I'm in range of this one turret. That's not great. Was there a area of effect turret? A dumbfire splash turret that I just missed and totally just obliterated my fleet? Looks like this guy might have been it. I didn't see one over there. Yeah, 3, 4 white spots. Those looked familiar. I thought I saw them up on the left, but that doesn't make any sense since there were no big turrets over there. This target's not looking as good, not gonna lie. And of course, damage increase and things in the middle, so you have to take all the damage and rush to get it, so whatever. Few gates left, let's spread out and go find these. At least there aren't any mines in these channels. I know Kixeye loves to use... Well, you don't have to kill the gates. Surprise. Kixeye loves to use mines in the channels, but ton of radioactive damage taken there. That's pretty painful. And ballistic is mostly evaded, which again is great. 1 hour, 8-minute repair. Let's see if we can't get anything reduced on this guy. Still got the full 250k, so no complaints there. But You don't have to kill the gates to kill the target, which is good, although the gates will help you keep your stacks up, which, again, is nice. And I have to figure out where that massive radioactive damage came from. I guess I can't see blue in addition to not being able to see orange. Should be interesting. Not seeing many of you say anything in chat here, trying to figure out if it's been working. All right, a little bit of repair time here. See if we can't get anything down to down to not spending 3 coins, only spending 2. Yeah, Ligo, you are right. That's pretty ouchy. We also should check how much the survival help. So this guy is 6.3 million health, and this guy is 5.8. So, well, we are spending 3 coins. Whatever. Let's check the 110 again, do a little bit more sort of playing around with this guy, trying to figure out what's taking the damage here, because it is pretty interesting that, like you just said there, Ligo, the flagship took a ton of damage. Alright, so if I just move off on the target here where only one turret can target me, let's try and figure out what this guy is shooting at. So this ballistic turret appears to be evade based. You can see it's missing nearly every time against this 90% evade ship, which is cool. If I bring another ship in a little bit closer, I guess King Killer is the mechanic I've been talking about, not priority. So this ballistic guy does have King Killer on it. I'm pretty sure about that. So that's where the high evade flagship's coming from. I'm glad I listened to whoever told me there was King Killer on those VXP targets. Now these launcher guys probably don't have anything on there. Let's just kill this guy, see what happens. Uh-oh, that hurt. Anyway, where did I take all this damage from last time? I would like to not do that again. Around here? Did I run into this and stop? I didn't think so. Now, these guys should be too bad in terms of damage, right? Oh, there's an invisible turret right here. That's rude. There's an invisible turret right here. What the hell? Come on. That's... You're joking. There's an invisible turret in this target. Right here. Oh, come on. Kixeye? That's just rude. Anyone else see that? You saw those shots fire? That's what killed my fleet. Report it to Kixeye. Oh, well, let's just go ahead and finish the target here and see what happens, because that just got blasted. It's dead now because I killed it, but that was pretty rude. I was like, where'd my fleet go? I should have more health than this. Okay, so maybe the third time here we can figure this out, because that was pretty awful. I'm still going to take, an hour or 2 damage from this thing. Trying to kill everything in just one pass here, but also not running into the firing range of any of these guys. I think with high evade flagship, I do okay. Here's another one of these turrets. That's the same one. There we go. Just keep the splash up by killing this gate here, or shooting at the gate even if you don't kill it. Last island here. Target something in the middle. They should all go down. And kill the building. And that should be it here. Look at that. That's pretty nice. Alright, well, I should mention that I am assuming that this damage here is accidental. They would never intentionally put that invisible turret there and it won't get fixed. It's a little frustrating to have it happen to me, but it's the first 25 minutes of the raid. It will be fixed by the time most people start, and it'll only hurt me for like one target. It'll be perfectly fine. I'm sure it's not malicious, and I only took 16 minutes damage with that anyway, so that's pretty good. Let's just spend 1 coin on that, go hit another turret, and see what happens. So far 101 is not bad. Let's just remember there's a turret there and see if we can get instant map repair for this guy, and that would be pretty solid. All right, I'm not trying to auto the 101 because that seems like a death wish. Again, the points payouts are here, so I'm probably going to auto all the 100s, repair overnight on that thing, and then kill the 101s driving as much as I can, rather. Although, autoing it might be a fun test, and Kixeye might make like another 12 coins off me for that thing, so that should be pretty fun. You're right, Apple Ducky, it's not the first time we're going to have an invisible turret, so... Alright, jumping into the 101, take 3, remembering there's a guy right about there. Let's get started, sort of the same path as last time. Kill these big launcher turrets, or big ballistic turrets, and let's get the frenzy spun up here on the left before we engage those guys. Should help out just a little bit with some of those. Alright, shooting at the big guy, even though that's maybe not the thing damaging me, so let's find someone else to kill. Pretty solid so far. Front platform's dead. And we're gonna... What's the plan here? Back out? That might be the plan. Well, he can reach me from right there anyway. Probably just have to run in and shoot at something. Just gonna charge in, up to the left here, shoot it. Well, I'm in its dead spot right now if I stop. So, let's just hope he's dead. Come on. Alright, if I see projectiles coming from it, I'm gonna run. Other than that, I'm gonna assume that I killed it. Looks like I probably did okay here. Very good. Let's just get into the left here to kill the slab. And I'm not sure if these radioactive turrets have King Killer on them or not, so shouldn't be horrible. Alright, running up against this. Kill this big triangular turret before I move off and charge across. Shoot at all these guys. They're going down pretty nicely. The splash is really nice. The target is pretty fun in that regard. Another turret, parking its mid-range, kill that guy. Shoot the big triangular one. It's in the middle of everything else, so it goes down. And one last thing, one last cluster here, and that's pretty solid. There we go. That looks like instant map repair to me. Keep in mind, Kixeye, I've got an X1 ship in this fleet. Don't tune the target based off my results. They're not typical of your average player, because again, I've got one X1 ship up to 2 X1 ships shortly, and I built it in an interesting way, to say the least. Now, what's still alive here I've got to kill? This guy. Perfect, we can test King Killer on the last target here, this radioactive guy, see if it's going to target the flag or not. Right, just Purifier, pull it out ahead. Looks like you might be able to outrange it if you bring in an old ship. Come on, target my flagship, please. Start shooting at me. Looks like that's probably evade base too. We're going to get maybe one volley off this guy. Not sure if it has King Killer on it, but it is accuracy based, so evade does work. I'm loving the high evade flagship. Alright, repair time. Looks like I evaded 100% of the ballistic damage incoming and took some radioactive. I guess I take radioactive when I drive into range of some of those turrets right there. And results show that we have, well, damage on the back too. So maybe those launchers have priority targeting and are not touching the flagship. And King Killer is on the other things. That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I'll have to do a little bit more testing to confirm that, but the 101, once the invisible turret's fixed, gets the derpy seal of approval, until we try to auto it, because I'm expecting that to go quite painfully. Although, I will try it just for fun. After we do the 500, of course. Oh, and by the way, up to this point, I've not used a crew on the target, if you were wondering. Okay, instant repair for those two so far. Now it's a question of how much seat time can I spend and how much I want all these prizes. But hey, I didn't check out the Primal Brute's flagship. That will have to be a little bit of a, or the flagship abilities. We'll do that in the Hefe show, I'm sure. He'll put a nice red box around the differences, and we'll call that good. All right, here is the level 500 driving attempt. We do also have an assassin target, of course, and a few other things to revisit here, but it should go pretty well. Alright, 500 appears to be enter angle dependent from my first guess here. I could retreat and find that out if I wanted to. Yeah, Andy, I'm not sure if you have to refit the flagship. It might work with low evade, but I think high evade is definitely going to be a little bit better. Low evade probably still works okay, but just not great. Uh-oh, another invisible turret. Hey, Peter. Peter right here. See that? You see this guy? Right there. Right there. Oh no. Does this not have a minimum range? Oh no, it does not have minimum range. That's pretty sad. Oh well, we're not doing this target for instant wrap repair the first try. That cluster did seem a little too easy. Where else is there going to be an invisible turret in this target? Get the frenzy stacks back up as we run in here. Should just be able to get short range right here, park right there, and that should be fine, right? Any issues with me doing that? I think so. Stop and kill everyone. So far, so good. I can't quite reach everything here because I've got such short range, but that's fine. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. This nice high splash on the ship is pretty good. That new viscosity regulator 2 is working quite well, I should say. Alright. Let's just not worry about him too much. Almost got in range of this one. Luckily I didn't because I knew it was there. And come on. Why are you doing damage to the building that does nothing? Get in the minimum range of this guy and call that good. Stay far on the outside. That whole cluster is dead. Let's park in this little alcove right here, see what happens. Okay, 500's going a lot better now, although it's probably doing some damage to me. Yeah, I think I outranged these short-range radioactive turrets. That's interesting. I didn't really consider that in VXP Weekend, probably because I didn't really have too much time to test in VXP Weekend, / didn't have my fleet done, but that's nice. First thing when you press auto, it tries to go over here. Hey, 500, not too bad. A little bit of a longer target to complete, that's fine. No ballistic damage, so evade works great. They probably have like 50% base accuracy on there. And then radioactive damage is pretty high. 2 coins on that guy. Let's go find another one. Luckily, it's paying out nice round numbers of points, which is really good because I like it when it pays out round numbers. Alright, 500 take 2. We're just going to have to try and park in min range of this first guy and hope minimum range actually exists. Alright, let's see here. 500 take 2. So we do have probably right in the center there. So if I park on this wall, should be okay, right? I won't have time to adjust if it's wrong. Or is it on the side here? Oh, it's in the center. So right here, I shouldn't get fired at. Oh, I'm getting fired at. If I stay moving, should be fine though, right? Are there 2 or 3 turrets here? Why is it shooting so frequently? Well, it's dead, whatever it is. Now, if you're noticing the mortars on my fleet, those are the Siege V mortars, which do combat speed on the flagship, which is why it has such high evade, because I used lowered cannon mount 2, I believe, which reduces your combat speed in exchange for a very high amount of evade, which is really nice. Right, after we kill this first gate, we park sort of in the middle here, in the minimum range of this guy. Let's go a little bit closer for this one, and hopefully it doesn't shoot at me again, or we'll be in a pretty bad situation. A little closer here, do some damage to these guys, not too worried about. This is a really nice safe zone to park in. Kill those ones, head up to the top of the target there. Nice, very good so far. Now, remember that most people probably have 3 ships that are like U1, so my results are not very typical of everyone else's out here. Most people probably don't have the stupid evade tank ship built, which is not something I realized we needed until like 5 days ago, so I haven't done any videos or too much math even on this thing, because it sort of took me by surprise. I don't know if this X1 is being extra powerful or something, but sure is working real nice. Just not even auto-targeting something. I'm letting this fleet just kill anything it parks by, which is great. And let's move in towards the end here. I do have to... There's a mountain, which looks kind of like a wall. I wish they were different textures. Take some damage. I'm not sure moving helps too much at all. These are all accuracy-based. Although they may be the combination, but not sure. Tiny bit of damage there on ship number 3. I think that the radioactive turrets either have priority targeting instead of King Killer, or just have regular targeting. Either way, they can be outranged, which is fine, and damage taken is 2 minutes and 9 seconds. I haven't quite got these down to 0 seconds repair, but that's looking pretty realistic. And again, here's the build if you're wondering. Pretty nice. I'm definitely liking this flagship. A little bit more info about this. It does have that Ares War Engine, Guidance Scrambler 3, lower cannon mount 2, insulated charge capacitor, use any 30% plus combat speed special for that one, and then 2 Guidance Scrambler 3s, which works out pretty well. Weapons are all V mortars, combat speed, plus 7%, except for one, which is a thrower, which honestly I shouldn't have used because it does no damage and is a shorter range than anything else there anyway. So whatever. Maybe an S siege cannon for 3% higher combat speed could be okay, but at that point we're kind of just splitting hairs. All right, that target 500, that's down. And let's check how many points people on the top of the world have. We've got someone up to 114 million in my sector. I'm number 19. Hey, number 1 player in the world's in my sector. I might have to go hit him later. With that said, let's go find out the assassin target and see if that target's worth it to hit. Because if the assassin target's real worth it to hit, then the 600 or the 500, 600, and 100, 102 are the way to go. Looks like my assassin fleet is named Harbinger for some reason. And this is a full X1 assassin fleet if you're wondering. I think I got that last one up there. Might still have a U3 ship, I'm not sure. I do have it all X1, so that's nice. Alright, let's go find one of these 600 targets. It does pay out fewer points, but it is needed for the bonus. And if I remember correctly, targets without the Ghost Crawler were okay. I'm expecting this one to be a little bit bigger and have a few Ghost Crawlers that maybe force you to take some damage, but whatever. Alright, let's see what kind of results we get from this guy. And after that, we'll see if we can auto the 101, so that should be interesting. This looks like a TLC target to me. This looks like the last target. We've already seen this guy. You've already seen this target before. I swear I've hit this in the TLC. I just did like 7 rounds of that thing the other day. That looks super familiar. No harm in reason to target if it was reasonable, right? Let's see if we can't trigger these Ronins. Run away from them. That works out pretty well most of the time here. Run back in. Nah, we don't want those Feng-Tus that much. Let's go kill this bottom section here, because that was a little bit trickier if I remember. And trigger all 4 of them at once is what I did. Has been possible in the past, only trigger 2. That's probably the way to go if you can. You can also use a Ronin at X1 in your assassin fleet if you refitted, because, thanks Andy, because that has a really good countermeasure, what you call it, built-in countermeasure. Oh, let's not surface, please. When there are ghost crawlers in the target and you're surfaced, they will slow you down by, I think, 30 or 40%. Didn't quite get that guy before he went underwater, that's fine. Golden weapons didn't do too much damage there. Let's get up to the top of the target and kill something. With these ships, you want to make sure you stay moving the entire time. You can kill them in one pass if you do it well, which is interesting, and it sometimes does like to just do circles around you, which is frustrating, but that's down pretty easily there. Alright, Fangtooth, do you want to come here and die? Yes, you do. Alright, let's pivot off to these 2 Ronins, and this is looking like a really time-consuming target, so it's probably better for most people to hit the 101 and the 100 only and avoid this top set unless you really miss driving your assassins for some reason. Notice I went in this red ring and got lucky with this golden stuff not hitting me. Kixeye for some reason loves that RNG to see if you take damage or not. I don't know why, but they do. There we go, I took some damage from that guy. And let's see if I can sneak in here. Are you going to be nice? Been detected yet. There we go. Looks like with this guy out of the way, I can kill the Ghost Crawler fine. And let's kill the second Fangtooth here. Perfect. We'll wait for this Gluttony to get out of the way to the right, and then engage. Uh-oh, we didn't wait long enough. Then come engage this Ghost Crawler here. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, now you can die quickly. Once he's dead, we're going to start moving right now anyway. Not the best technique to kill that guy ever, but hey, it worked. Solid so far, and let's finish off these guys down on the bottom here. I'm tempted to just auto this thing, but that's not what y'all are wanting to see, is it? Yeah, I'm only about halfway through this target so far, Andy, because it was pretty time-consuming. Okay, killing that regular Ronin. Try and kite everything, stay away from it. If you're moving away from the projectiles, your countermeasures have a little bit more time to shoot at the incoming things, versus if you're moving toward it, it's a little bit harder to take things down in time. Right, 2 clusters left on the top of the map, and it's going to be a distance to go off and find these things, so whatever. I think the prizes from this raid are pretty good. I mean, the Garrison flagship, unfortunately, they didn't name it after me. I didn't actually ask this time. But, you know, pretty solid target so far. Pretty solid raid, other than the invisible turrets, which I'm sure will get cleaned up pretty quickly. Because Kixeye doesn't want that happening either. So, not too bad. This is the first raid in the siege cycle, so you definitely want to err on the side of making it a little bit easier than anything else, because it is a difficult proposition to get your 3 ships even built and upgraded with all your lab bonuses being reset. And the fact that I can do the targets in the raid with 3 ships for instant map repair means that most people could probably do them for 3 ships fairly for instant base repair with 3 ships, even if one isn't up to X1, I would assume. So it should be a pretty reasonable raid, all things considered, if you have the high evade flagship. If you don't have the high evade flagship, it's going to be a little bit harder. You can do some basic things like refit one of your insulated charge capacitors to be a Hyper 30, or if you have some extra build tokens, which people probably don't because they use them all building the ship, that'd be great. We had this happen with the Swallowtail raid where people had to refit during that first raid. Luckily, I realized that the same mechanic target interaction was present beforehand this time. Unfortunately, didn't know for sure, so I couldn't tell people what to use because I didn't know myself. I had never hit any siege target related to this whatsoever in any game, period, with a high evade tank, so it was kind of a guess. And that is the 500 target complete. The assassin builds, the one shown on screen here, are also linked in my builds document. 24 minutes repair, that's instant base repair. You could probably do a little better than I did with driving there, but hey, who's counting, I should say. That's 4 million points so far. I'm part of the way through to the SP1, I think that's the Sweet P1, Heavy Launcher, as well as Primal Brute, a bunch of build tokens, which I'll use to probably get ship number 5 built, and of course some upgrade kits, upgrade tokens will be needed, and we do have another Helios that you can build. I haven't got my first one done yet, I don't think, so I still got 2 more to go, and a few other random things in the raid here, etc. My one request for Kixeye would be a speed upgrade, because I don't have that one yet. Also 5 Knuckle Duster rockets if you want to spend 20 million points on that thing. But hey, who's counting? Certainly not me. And as well as some older tech here, which is pretty interesting. You may want to consider picking up some of that PvP stuff. The new turrets are things I would definitely grab. We're seeing more and more 360-degree turrets, which are pretty nice here. As well as Defender class build token. I might have to spend one here before I can use one. Well, so far it looks like a pretty solid raid. Things are going to go pretty well unless Kixeye changes the damage too much, which I hope they don't. Because again, the targets and the times that I'm seeing are not a reflection of everyone else's. So don't tune everything just based off my results here, is what I'm trying to tell you. But hey, you can see that if you've got this high evade fleet built, you can do these 2 targets pretty nice. And even if you only have 2 ships autoing the 100, it's certainly possible to complete. No high evade nonsense whatsoever. So, raid's pretty reasonable. With that said, I'm going to be on the Battle Pirates Crib Show in just about 13 minutes here when I wrap this thing up here. I hope you all enjoyed the video here and it was helpful, and I will of course release a few other things later today in the raid stream, etc. In raid videos later this week is what I'm trying to say there. With that said, I of course need to say thank you to everyone whose names appears on screen now. This is the channel members. There's a join button on all the YouTube videos, etc. These people are really just supporting the channel and keeping me making videos, which is why their names are up here at the end of every single video, I should say. Anyway, and until next time, this is going to be Derpy signing out, helping you be a better pirate.